And as you can see, we got it all set up and camping. And so there's a ground cover mat there. The awning is out, and there's let's start at the front and go around the outside, and then we'll go inside. You know, this has got a braking electric brake system on the trailer, and you can hook up to this electrical and the brake system with a 4-prong plug, or you take this adapter off and there's actually a 7-prong plug there. So you could use a 7-prong or 4-prong to hook up, and it includes the electronic brakes as well in the hookup, and so you don't need anything installed in your car. Yeah, there's your hitch. You need a 2-inch ball for that. There's a propane tank with a meter on it. There's a house battery, so if you do some dry camping, you can have some energy for your lights and so on. And it's got 4 jacks. As you can see, they're down right now, all in the 4 corners, and there's a jack up front as well. So let's go around the outside here on this side where the services are, and you can sort of see the hookup. There we go. You can see the sewer's hooked up, the water, and the electricity here. And so when I hook up the sewer at camp, it's a full campsite here with full service, then you know, I keep the black water closed because the toilet needs to accumulate fluid, and you can deodorize it and then dump it from time to time. You don't leave it open the whole time. That's not going to work well. You need it to accumulate and then flush it the odd time. The gray water, that's everything except the toilet, you know, like the shower and the sink and everything. You can leave that open if you like and just let it drain continuously. But I would say maybe a day before you break camp, you might want to close it and let it accumulate some water so that when you flush the black, later you can then flush the gray after to clean out the hose properly. You know, it's just a little tip. Anyway, this is the outlet for the propane furnace. There's water running off the air conditioner up here, so you see a little bit of dripping. There's nothing wrong here. And then there's the electrical cord that gets pushed back in here once you're done. It's a 30 amp cord. And then over here is your water hookup for the city. Sorry, for this, yeah, for the camp water. This hose is quite long. It goes all the way to the camp post, right? If you don't have camp water and you're dry camping without any service, you can fill this up with city water. I think it's like 10 gallons or something that goes in there. This is the hot water heating system. I'm going to do a separate video on that. But while I'm camping, I would leave it on pilot. You know, leave the pilot light lit the whole time. And then when you want to crank up the hot water, just turn like that, and it'll start heating the hot water up. And then you'll and when you're done with the hot water, you don't want to use up your propane, just turn it back on pilot. And if the pilot light's out, then you got to turn it off, you know, push it down and light the pilot light manually. And after it's lit, then you turn it back on to get the hot water going again. So that's the hot water system there. That's a manual system. After the hose, you clean up the hose, you put it back in the bumper. That's where the sewer hose would be stored, in the bumper in the back. And you can see I'm hooked up the camp here. There's a pop-out full queen bed on the camper, so you can see that. And it's a nice space in there for sleeping. You can open up the flaps from the inside to get more airflow. There's a spare tire underneath there as well. Here's your cord. I have a cord from the camper. You can see it's quite short, right? So I have also an extra 15-foot extension cord that would take you all the way there. I think there's about 10 feet on the camper cord. Maybe it's underneath there a little bit. So, but anyway, there's an extension cord. So you got pretty good length here. Anyway, here's your awning, and I have a separate video on that. Here is a spot where you can hang the TV that's inside the camper. You can take it outside, and it's a movable TV. So you clip it on here and you plug it in here, and you can sit outside and watch TV. This is a fridge bay compartment for service for the refrigerator. This is just storage. You know, I put my blocks in there, and I put my wheel blocks in there, and there's a little pedestal table in there, a couple electrical cords, and of course my extension cords go in there. But like I mentioned, the sewer hose goes into the bumper, so you don't want to put that in here. So anyway, just a little storage area. And there's also a crank here for the jacks underneath here, so you can crank them up and down. So that goes in there. So that's kind of the outside of the camper. Let's go inside. There's a key for the deadbolt, and we'll just open up. And inside, you know, we got obviously, here's your kitchen area. There's a cover for the stove area right here, and these light manually. So if you want to light these, you just turn it on and ignite it, and you can just use the igniter, which is this right here. So just turn it on and it'll light for you quite nicely like that. Okay, so that's basically how that works, and you can put that on to give yourself a little more counter space right there. It clips right over, and there's your sink, and there's a microwave down there, and there's cupboard space. Inside the cupboards there's dishes. There's a packet of 4 like cups, mugs, plates, bowls, spoons, everything, cutlery. All utensils are there. There's a garbage bag can that pops open, it seals, and you can put a bigger size white garbage bag in there. And there's pots and pans, and there's other accessories for storage. It's all collapsible stuff. And down here there's also a couple of pots and pans. And then in the top cupboard, you can see there's a kettle, and there's a Keurig coffee maker, and there's a toaster. So that's up on top. And then over here, just more storage space. Underneath here, a couple of pans. Down here, you can keep things like the drops for the toilet, the toilet paper, and cleaning supplies for dishes and all that kind of stuff can go there. And there's a refrigerator. It runs on both electric and on propane. I'll do a separate video on how to use the propane on the fridge. And I usually keep it cranked up to 5, and it takes a few hours to get cool for sure. So it might take 4 or 5 hours and it'll cool off for you. In fact, overnight is better. These fridges seem to go slow, but it does work, and it's cold. Here's your TV. It does swing out nicely, and then when you're traveling, you actually push this TV against here, and there's a release arm, right? So, but if you push the TV against here, it'll click, and it'll be secure while you're driving, so it doesn't swing around on you. If you want to take the TV outside, unplug it obviously, and then just finger tight. This is just finger tight screw here. Just take that screw out, and this will lift right off the mount, and then you can take that and just put it on the mount outside if you want to move the TV outside. The light switch is here, and that works for these ceiling fixtures of this area. It doesn't do anything to the kitchen. If you want to turn this one off, you got to press and hold it. Okay, all the lights are LED, and you can dim them by turning that knob, so you can see how it's dimming. And you can also select the style of light that you want here. So that's how all the lights work. And up top, I'll turn the switch back on. Okay, here we go. You got some extra, wine glasses, and most of these are all empty. And same with these. These are basically all empty for storage. And you got your windows and your dinette over here. You can fold this across for a bed. So we do have a platform for that. So you can make this into a kind of like a double bed, a small double bed, I would say. And then there's a full queen size bed. It's quite comfortable actually. And that's in the back area, and there's privacy curtains. You can see, you can pull it, pull across if you wanted some privacy for the bedroom. There's a thermostat in case you want to use the propane furnace at night. We also have an air conditioner up there, and you need to have, of course, electrical camp power to run that. And then there's also a space heater. So if you get cold at night, there's a furnace, of course, but you don't want to maybe use up your propane if you got an electric site. So we have a space heater that you can plug in if you want to stay warm and if you have electricity. Over here we have a shower. It's a wet bath, they call it, with a toilet. And then there's a place to hang towels back there, and here's a curtain that you can just unclip here and pull across the doorway here to keep the door from getting wet. Then here, the toilet's pretty simple. There's a lever on the side of the toilet. If you pull it halfway forward, it adds water to the toilet. If you pull it all the way forward, it flushes. So it's good to add a little water when you're flushing, so it is a little bit of a slurry in the tank, and it drains better and it deodorizes better. And every time you do a dump on the toilet, you want to put in one of these drops, deodorizing drops, down the toilet to keep it deodorized. So just let it accumulate. Once it fills up a little bit or gets close to full, you can go outside and dump it, and then you can add another deodorizing drop and do it again. So anyway, that's the shower area. And I guess, there's a radio, there's stereo. You can hook up your phone to it. You can see there's speakers underneath here. It's pretty good. Place for paper towels. And yeah, I guess that's basically, the tour of the outside and inside of this Sportsman camper trailer. Hope you enjoyed it.